Hello, and welcome to another edition of Acoustic Alternatives. Perhaps you haven't noticed the benefits of this version of a Sunday morning playlist yet. Let me point it out to you. You can play it whenever you want, pause it, you don't have to watch the videos, you can just listen. Likely fewer commercials, and definitely more freedom. I'd still love to know if you, the viewer-listener, would rather have the playlist summary as one big file at the end, or if you'd prefer a few interspersed videos throughout the playlist telling you what you just heard, although you can pretty much see what you just heard online. This week we start off with a previously unreleased song from Saginaw, Michigan's Amy Petty. She performed this for the first time for an Earth Day celebration a few weeks ago, and it deals with isolation and the loss of a friend to COVID-19. I should have warned you to grab a tissue before it started. Sorry. Isn't it beautiful, though? I can't wait to see her perform it live in front of real people sitting around me. Soon, I hope. Next up was something from my past from the wonderful Rosie Thomas. It's a song called Charlotte. Rosie has taken a step back from the industry to raise children, so I wish her and all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. If you got paid for all the hours you worked being a mom, you'd be the wealthiest people on earth. Speaking of Mother's Day, one of my favorite songs about moms is the one from Royal Oak native Beth Stalker called Mother Dear. There is an acoustic version on the album, but no one has posted a video of that version that I could find. She put out a live record recently. It's available through her website, and playing this song this week reminded me to contact her about purchasing that. More Mother's Day songs on the way. I love this one from Jan Arden. She wrote a book recently where she collected journal entries as she watched her parents go through the difficult process of aging. It's called Feeding My Mother, and it's the answer to the question, what is the last book you read? It's both heartbreaking and funny, and it largely deals with dealing with her mom's memory loss and recipes. There are lots of those in the book too, and the song from Jan Arden is called Good Mother. I'm getting a bit sick of the solitude, but I never get sick of the song that introduced me to Edwin McCain, a song that featured Hootie, better known as Darius Rucker. It's about a different kind of solitude, but it's a great song. A song that was just released about what we're all going through and one that raises money for Music Health Alliance comes from the Southern gentleman himself, John Paul White, formerly of the Civil Wars, and Johnny Cash's daughter, Roseanne. It's beautiful, and I hope you liked it. Another one inspired by the solitude of the current day comes from Chris Steele. This one was brought to my attention because I'm on Jeremy Kittle's email list and I follow him on Facebook. Jeremy is one of the most talented fiddle and violin players to come from the Michigan music scene, and I was very pleased to see him working virtually alongside of these talented folks to join Chris on this new song. Some are not taking this pandemic seriously enough, and others are thinking it's the end of the world. Well, it's not the end of the world. It's just a huge change to the way we will do things from this point forward. However, if you are surrounded by the people you love, assuming it was the end of the world, this won't be so bad. Thanks, Matt Nathanson. All worlds are affected by the pandemic, but the music world has been devastated. No performances means no income for many, and the government is making it very hard for those important members of the community to make a living, seemingly not helping them out with unemployment. So much talent, so much time dedicated to perfecting their craft so they can entertain us. Remember, they're always the first people we turn to when we do a fundraiser. They're asked to play for free, and these generous souls often do just that. One of those kind, generous souls is my friend Olivia Millerson, also known as Olivia Dear. She released Long Weekend a long time ago now, but every day kind of feels like a long weekend lately, doesn't it? So glad to have something new from Need to Breathe. The solo album from Bear Reinhardt, the band's lead singer under the name Wilder Woods, is a gem from last year, and you should definitely seek it out. But I can't wait to hear more from this forthcoming album called Out of Body. This new Need to Breathe song is something I hope you enjoyed as well. My album of the year, or at least the one to beat for the year, is the one from the woman who started this week's show, Amy Petty. The biggest competition she will face comes from three other ladies from Michigan, only one of which still lives here. Sweetwater Warblers are getting ready to release their first full-length album, and this Rachel Davis track, which she's been performing for years, is finally going to be on a record, and the lovely voices of May Earlywine and Lindsay Lou will join her. Pre-order this album, and wait until I can play their original called Hallelujah, which will be on the record. I've heard it. It's excellent. A show I really looked forward to seeing at the Arc this week was Alan Doyle with special guest Chris Trapper. It's been rescheduled for next year. I love hearing Alan Doyle sing, so here he is doing It's Okay in isolation. Some more songs for the moms on Mother's Day. This one is specifically for the woman best known for playing Helen Willis on The Jeffersons. Lenny Kravitz's mom, Roxy Roker, is the focus of Thinking of You from Lenny Kravitz. Surprisingly, Ed Sheeran has a mom too. Seems like someone who can write so many hits might be from another world, but he's not. Supermarket Flowers is for his grandmother on his mom's side from his mom's point of view. It's a bit of a sad one, but my mom died on Mother's Day 18 years ago, and it's okay to be sad. Happy Mother's Day, Ed's mom, and mine too. A search for Mother's Day songs had me stumble into this next one. Originally by J.J. Heller, Lydia Walker was kind enough to put up the guitar tabs in case you want to learn it from her. Growing up, I had fewer albums to pick from than I do now, so I know the ones I had backwards and forwards from that era. I spent a lot of time listening to Pink Floyd's The Wall. This Mother song, originally from that album, is performed beautifully by Sinead O'Connor from a live concert. Sinead is a mother too, and once upon a long ago, she recorded a song called My Special Child as a standalone single. I found this live version with Sting on bass. Didn't know it existed until this week. If you remember the original Genesis song called Mama, you were probably surprised by this cover done by Maybe Violet. I kept waiting for the Phil Collins maniacal laugh, but it never came. A Paul Simon classic was next. It's hard finding a version that fit the vibe of my show, but whoever Mike Morin is, he nailed it. Mother and Child Reunion. Great song from Paul Simon. Equally difficult to find was a good cover of Queen's completely inappropriate for Mother's Day, Tie Your Mother Down. No one can sing it the way Freddie does, so why not include this a cappella version of it? The song rocks, even a cappella. I'm not a big fan of people saying, hey everyone, hey you, or hey guys, but hey mama? I'll let that slide. Two excellent songs with that title. One from Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, and one from Matt Carney. And again, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Something new from Stolen Silver was released recently. I was a pretty big fan of Down the Line, which broke up years ago, and from the ashes of that band, we got Stolen Silver, who were set to play in Michigan right about now. They will be back, and I'm sure they will do this new one called Come Back to Chicago. Finally, something new from the Detroit-based artist Greg Paddock. He recorded his debut album in Oxfordshire, England, with producer J.R. Richards from Dishwalla helping out. The song I included is called No One Fights Alone and is written for his nephew's brave and inspiring battle with a rare genetic form of colon cancer known as FAP. He has recovered, so there is good news, and it's a nice way to end today's show. And there you go, a themed show planned for you next week. Have a good week, and don't forget to show Mom some love with a 6-foot distance between you. Thanks for listening.